David, let's bring you in here. Are Republicans in denial about the abortion issue?
They are, and I respect Hogan, but you just heard an example of being in denial. Your question was, is abortion going to be an important issue in this presidential election? And the answer is clearly yes. It was an important issue in the midterms in 2022. It's been at the top of mind of centrist voters and independent voters since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. And look at J.D. Vance. He has the most extreme position on abortion possible. In 2021, he said he's against abortion, including he's against an exception for the health and life of mothers, and he's against an exception for when there's rape and incest. Can you imagine telling a woman who's been raped or who's the victim of incest that she can't abort if she wants to abort? That's why when Walz called this ticket weird, it resonated with people. That's just plain weird. They're weird on abortion. They're weird on IVF. The Republican Party is not sure if they support IVF or not. There are Republicans in states like Alabama who want to ban IVF, which is also very extreme, and it's not going to appeal to independent voters and centrist voters. And then you have Walz, who is a big proponent of IVF. In fact, his family has used IVF. He understands why it's important to families. And then contrast that with what J.D. Vance has said about women being childless and basically denigrating the decision not to have children. But his party is against IVF, which helps women who can have children have children. It's weird.
Hogan, before we move to the economy, I want to get your response on that. I mean, how do you explain this? How can one be pro-growing families and population in the United States and also anti-IVF fertility treatments?
Well, interestingly enough, you see separated Donald Trump, who's at the top of the ticket, who people will be voting for, versus J.D. Vance's own personal political views, whereas Walz and Kamala Harris are in lockstep on this. And let's not forget, Walz's own state allows aborted babies who survive an abortion, so it's a failed abortion, to just lie on a table and die. He's had 5 such instances in his state. You want to talk about extreme? You want to talk about disgusting? That's a conversation they need to lean into, because the fact of the matter is, when you're talking about abortion, regardless of where you stand on any type of preventing that abortion, it has to do with 2 lives, both a mother and a child. And the way we talk about it matters. And to point out where the left stands on this and their extreme views that is completely antithetical to where the rest of the country is, I think is very important. And so this debate will continue. And yes, as I said, it's important. I don't think it's a top 3 issue for most voters, but it's going to be in the mix because it's important to a lot of folks. So let's have it, and let's have it honestly.
David, we're almost out of time, so I'm going to give you the final word in just about 20 seconds.
Well, look, when you compare J.D. Vance and Walz, they have one thing in common. They're both from the Midwest. And I'm really glad that both VP picks are from the Midwest, the presidential ticket, Harris from the West Coast, Trump from the East Coast. So it's a recognition that the Midwest is important. I'm from Ohio, where J.D. Vance is from. But when you compare their records, Walz, first of all, has much more experience than J.D. Vance. He was a congressman. He's also been a governor. He understands the issues that matter to working families. He's supported by the unions, by working people, and he's going to appeal to middle America. He's the type of guy that you want to go and have a beer with. J.D. Vance isn't that guy. He doesn't have that experience. He has weird positions that he has a lot of trouble explaining to middle America.
Hogan Gidley, David Tafuri.
Nothing says middle America like tampons in boys' bathrooms. Sure.
We are out of time tonight. Gentlemen, thank you both for your perspective and time.